And we're live, I think. All right. Hey, how goes it? Ken Bozak from the BitcoinPodcast.com, here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories with my crypto friends. Let me start with John. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are and where they can find you, and then we'll move down the line from you to James to Brian.
Well, if you didn't know, I'm a man, and I am on the channel Crypto Therapy. Where,
I just saw your comment says, Ken, don't be late.
Well, I talk about investing in Bitcoin, doing cloud mining, and shit like that. So you can find me on my channel over on YouTube at Crypto Therapy, and just kind of have fun, and I like interacting with people in the comments section and shit. Just kind of doing what you're doing a little bit.
Crypto Therapy suits you because it is very therapeutic. The comic relief is much needed in this space, so I thank you for everybody who needs the comic relief in this. James, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and let everybody know where to find you?
Well, hello, I'm James Bond. I'm sure some of you know me. John Crothers knows me. And I often troll YouTubers and leave funny comments, and even go on live chats and leave funny comments. You can find me here on YouTube, and that's about the only place you can find me.
Yeah, I actually became a fan of yours by you trolling me. I was like, yeah, I love this James Bond guy. I'm gonna go follow him and subscribe to him and check his shit out, and that's how we became known associates. Brian,
yes.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and let everybody know where they can find you as well?
Howdy, I'm Brian McLaughlin. I have a YouTube channel that I haven't done anything on in quite a while, but it's my name. It's a bunch of math videos, and they're boring. But I have found a lot of enjoyment and enrichment by supporting my fellow YouTubers, at least the ones who are out there goodness in the space. And so I'm really enjoying it. Thanks for having me on the show, Ken.
Thank you, everybody, for making the time to be here tonight. And everybody watching, your comments are being recorded for the video, so when it gets uploaded, your comments will be there forever. So, take that into consideration when you're uploading comments down there. Thomas, I did want to get that right off the bat. I do blast people for promoting cloud mining sites, but not as scams or anything like that. I personally have cloud mining videos. I have people that use my referral link, and I'll openly admit to making at least a few $1,000s through my referral link on Genesis Mining. That being said, I only made about 3 videos, and it's not that I don't hate on Genesis. They're legit. They're a physical building. There's people's faces. I personally just don't think that cloud mining is the best thing to do with your crypto. Buy and hold. I kind of fell into that mentality, and I feel that most people that find cloud mining fall into the buy and hold as well eventually. But that's why I wanted to have John on, talk about his experience with cloud mining, stuff like that. Spread everywhere. I'm not going to try to put myself in a bubble because I have my own perspective or point of view on anything. 21 Million Club, thank you for joining. So yeah, guys, I wanted to start off with this article right here that everybody can see. Goldman Sachs finally recognizes the power of blockchain technology. I mean, about time, or you think they're a little late to the party?
Late to the party.
Late to the party, yeah. I feel like they're going to have to eventually team up with a altcoin developing team or some other project that's already in the making, because developers for this stuff are running thin.
I'm surprised that the article doesn't say Ripple.
Yeah. Let's see.
I wonder when they're going to start an ICO, because isn't that what they're really good at? Like starting ICOs, maybe with Ethereum?
Well, let's find out in this
really
article.
Late. Maybe they are late, because they should have done this a long time ago.
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs needs to use Ethereum Classic.
Yeah, there you go. That's what they need to do. They need to make a Sachs ICO or something.
I'm skimming through here to see if I can find anything juicy to sink my teeth into.
It's really not a long article.
Yeah, it is pretty long. It's Goldman Sachs on blockchain-based projects. Although the financial sector has not really been very keen on cryptocurrencies, for quite a long time, Goldman Sachs has been involved in some blockchain technology-based companies like Circle, Oh, okay. But we all saw how Circle handled that. They kind of like put that shit behind the curtain and kept trucking. And digital asset holdings, or and even digital asset holdings. All right, so it looks like there's, they've been involved in blockchain technology. So says this article. I didn't even know that Goldman Sachs had any skin in the Circle application.
I think they were in the R3 consortium and they left, and a lot of people left as well. I don't know what they're doing, but I think they're not. They haven't left the space. I think they're involved in some way. They gotta be.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's see. We got a lot of topics we can talk about. These articles go pretty deep. I mean, Delaware passes import bill for blockchain technologies. Delaware? I wonder what they're doing. Any guesses? Probably gambling? No, maybe.
Well, I read the bill, and it's pretty much just saying that they're allowed to implement blockchain technology in order to keep ledger of stock shareholders and corporate data and shit like that. But it all has to be readily accessible to be printed out legibly on paper. Really.
Okay.
So what's the point? I don't understand that. Are they going to print the blockchain now? They're going to print it out for you, and that way it's recorded?
Here you go.
That's going to be a lot of fucking paper. Do they know how expensive printer ink is?
Yeah, that makes no sense. Some of these ideas I just don't understand. Like, what are they passing? What exactly are they doing?
Yeah.
Because they print it out.
But either way, it brings more attention to blockchain either way. And now that states are trying to outdo each other and try to be better than one another, now blockchain's in the circle for that.
Yeah, I think it's a waste of money and time. They're wasting taxpayers' money. They should just not pass any laws whatsoever and just let us do what we want to do.
I don't know where the quote comes from because, as you can see, the viewers can see there's no name past the quote, but it's at a high level, the changes reinforce the forward-looking posture of the Delaware state government when it comes to business matters, including technological innovations and our corporation law. So I that would be awesome if maybe Delaware sets the standard for how states individually handle blockchain technologies. And like how Colorado did with marijuana law, Delaware could be with blockchain law.
Right.
Well, Nevada has been a leader as far as taxes. They recently passed a law that said no city, municipality, or county or state office could charge tax on Bitcoin-related businesses.
Ooh, that's nice.
I feel like we're gonna eventually get away from taxation as we know it. I just don't possibly see them being able to financially keep track of all the blockchain transactions to tax anybody. Like, the IRS is going to become, it's going to become obsolete in a sense. I think the government's just going to pop up mining rigs everywhere and use the transaction fees and the rewards from the mining rigs that they built as government funded money, because there's no way they're going to have these like SWAT team things running around checking the blockchain for transactions to make sure we all pay taxes on everything.
I wonder what would happen if you just stopped paying the IRS and then just stopped reporting to them.
You could probably ask a few celebrities. I feel like Wesley Snipes was hit pretty hard with that.
Well, was he doing anything with cryptocurrency?
No, he just wasn't paying taxes apparently.
Well, see, the thing with crypto is that they wouldn't know unless you told them, really.
Yeah, like how would they know? Like, if you never told them anything, or even if you never reported to them, they would only know because you tried to report your taxes and maybe you skimmed out a little bit or misrepresented your tax when you filed. What if you just never file?
Well, that's funny. This is actually something that there's another article coming up soon that talks about Coinbase adding another 1 million users last month.
I actually have that up right now, ready to go. Go ahead. If you wanted to read that or cover some of that, I'll scroll through it for the viewers.
Well, it just goes back to the privacy side of it. We're only one subpoena away or one law away from Coinbase's entire database being turned over to the feds.
Yeah, how's that coming along? Last I heard, they're still in court blocking that request. Coinbase and I think another law firm representing the users. So far, I haven't heard anything about it getting done or them complying with that request. I think it may not even go through at all.
Well, their initial request was invalid, really, because they were trying to get just a few select people who had evaded taxes or done money laundering or whatever. They had accounts on Coinbase, and Coinbase said you can't punish everybody who has a Coinbase account just because of a few bad apples. Really, that's really what it was. So that's where they had ground to stand on. But I would hate if everybody's information got sent over to the feds. It'd be some bullshit. And I don't know if I would continue to have a Coinbase account if that were the case.
Yeah, but what would they do with, if you buy it and sell it, or buy it and transfer it to another wallet almost immediately? It doesn't really count as profit, doesn't really count as loss. How would they know that you made anything off of that? Or how would they know you're still holding that on a separate wallet, like a ledger somewhere else? And, I don't know. I'm not worried about it in the sense that if you're not using Coinbase to hold and trade and do too much, if you're using Coinbase just to buy and get out of there, you're probably going to be fine.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's what I do. I learned this weird trick. I hope this doesn't get me in trouble with the law saying it out loud. But if you buy Bitcoin at one price and it goes down, it takes a dip, and that's when you do you pull it to a different wallet where you're still holding it. You could always write it off as a loss if it's enough.
Are you talking about on Coinbase?
Yeah, so if you buy Bitcoin on Coinbase at 2,000 and it goes down to 1,200, that's when you pull it off because it looks like you lost money, but you really just gave it to yourself on a different wallet.
Yeah, that's how Coinbase records whether you had a loss, is when you transfer it, which is totally not true, because if you were actually keeping track of it, it's when you actually sell it for cash, and not only when you sell it for cash, but if you ever used it, because when you buy back in, that maybe some of the audience can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you buy it, that's I would say untaxable event. But when you sell it, it becomes a taxable event. But when you buy it again, doesn't that become an untaxable event again? So it wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, I think you're right.
In the end, you never sold it and used it. Like, you spent the money to go get some, what I would call hookers and blow. You never used it. So if you never actually used it, you never realized it. You can't be taxed for it.
Jay Pear just said in the comments, in Canada, Coinbase doesn't allow cash outs. I wonder, what do you do in that case then? Let me know, Jay Pear.
Probably local Bitcoin or something like that.
Yeah, peer-to-peer, cash.
Thomas said that if your bank account is linked to Coinbase, then you have to report to the IRS. Does that count for your debit card or just your actual account?
Yeah, I went to get my taxes done, and I started asking them about, what do I do with my Bitcoin? Here's my stuff, and they were just looking at me like I had three heads. They don't even know what to do. So how the fuck am I supposed to know what to do?
When I started 3 years ago, and I was using a tax service for almost 5 years, the same people. And it was simple to do, right? I had a job, so I just gave my W-2 and then all this other forms that came in the mail, and I just gave it to them, and they asked me a few questions, like how much did I buy any stocks, did I do this or that, how many kids I have. Real simple, right? And then when I started trading Bitcoin and started using Bitcoin, I went back to them and I said, hey, I'm doing this thing called Bitcoin, and I'm buying it and I'm selling it. What do you all suggest? And they said, okay, let's get back. We'll get back to you. And then a day later, when they got back to me, they said, we can't do your taxes anymore. You have to find somebody else.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what they said. And since then, I've never been able to find anybody who's willing to do my taxes for me.
Well,
shit, that's sketchy. That scares the shit out of me.
if you were to cash out a Bitcoin or whatever, take that U.S. dollar value that you got, and you could claim that as extra earned income, and then you should be in the clear, right?
I guess I don't know. Here's the thing: is literally I have not been able to find anybody to do my taxes since I started using Bitcoin. So I honestly think the best thing to do is just don't report it to the IRS. Just stop filing your taxes.
I agree. And I actually called TurboTax about Bitcoin and asked them how to go about all this, and they said that it was illegal, so they have zero knowledge of it. So.
I have no idea what to say. I tried to tell my tax people about Bitcoin, and they just basically said, why'd you even bring this? We don't care, basically. Like, they didn't give me a hard time. I'm going back this year or whatever to get my taxes done. I'll let you know how it goes. But I don't know. The only thing I can really show them is my Coinbase account, because I try to use that to keep track of my bigger sells when I pay my rent. But now I realize that it was kind of a dumb idea to buy Bitcoin at the beginning of the month just to sell it at the end of the month to pay my rent. So I just put rent money aside, and everything else goes into crypto. And then I use my Shift payment card to buy groceries and shit. So I'm constantly spending crypto. It's going to be insane. Whoever takes all my taxes, it's going to be insane.
Ken, there was a guy at your at the Philly Bitcoin meeting ago. He seems to have been a regular. He's an older gentleman, been in this space for a while. Not really older, my bad. He's about my age. I keep forgetting I'm older. He said he files his taxes every year. That's a guy you need to get a hold of, and when you talk to him.
Yeah, I'll reach out in the Philly Bitcoin group, the meetup group, and see if I can get him to maybe put together a talk. It'd be great to have somebody have, like, a how-to, at least how I pay my taxes for Bitcoin. Let's see. Do you guys think that this million user sign up on Coinbase is going to really affect the price, like adoption? And we're dealing with the deflationary currency, and there are now 1 million more people, in at least 1 million more users are not wallets they set up here, but still there's at least 1 million more wallets popping up that are now being used to purchase crypto. What do you guys think about this type of thing where a wallet, an on-ramp or a gateway, a crypto gateway, announces 1 million users in 30 days? Like, what is your projection on the effect that has on crypto?
I think if enough people were to buy and hold, maybe, but really the shit's worldwide, so there's plenty more exchanges to get Bitcoin, and people are doing transactions all the time, so who really knows, right?
Yeah, I think it's a great way to on-ramp. The more people that buy Bitcoin drives up demand, and potentially more people to scam, and they're going to learn how to hold Bitcoin off their Coinbase, and maybe learn about hard wallets, maybe learn about paper wallets, and hopefully they'll become hodlers once they get scammed after a while. So the more the merrier, and hopefully they'll learn about how to use crypto for themselves and become a bank and have more control of their own money, and hopefully they'll understand the importance of decentralization and censorship resistance, because they'll be able to actually transact with one another peer-to-peer. In the end, is my ultimate hope for them.
Hey, what about you, Brian? You have any thoughts on the effects, like, a wallet like Coinbase announcing 1 million new users a month will have on cryptocurrency?
Well, even if it's only like 500,000 people opening 2 wallets, it's still going to be a lot of new money coming into the space, which should make the prices of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin go up, right? If they're going to come in and buy those 3 things on Coinbase, then the price should go up.
That's exactly my thought. I actually haven't checked the price. What is the price?
It's I think it's at 25.60 the last time I looked.
25.70 right now. Litecoin is
70.
about to hit 50.
That's good news.
I'm really liking Litecoin right now.
Oh, I love Litecoin. I'm so long on Litecoin.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got South Korea to soon legalize Bitcoin and Ethereum project. Traders from Bubble Burst. Let's see. South Korea is going to legalize Bitcoin and Ethereum. What are some of the other places that just did this? Wasn't Australia one of the most recent that went full like Bitcoin?
I think they took off the taxes, the resale tax, or the GST tax. I think there was another. No, I think it was Japan that they also removed the resale tax.
Hey, if it's a currency throughout the like country, if the whole country recognizes Bitcoin as a currency, doesn't that like not make it taxable? Right?
Well, they're not calling it a currency. They're calling it maybe money, which is different than currency. So Bitcoin's it's kind of interesting. When I first got involved, Washington State was one of the first states to consider Bitcoin as money, and I wonder what the difference was between money and currency. And it seems to be anything that's a stored value device would be considered a form of money, like your check is a stored value device. It's considered money, but it's not currency. Your credit card, even your phone. If you have access to your funds, your phone can be considered as a stored value device. So technically, your phone could be considered money in some ways, or at least a stored value device. Any way you can get access to funds to pay someone would be considered money, but may not be considered currency.
That's interesting. So, let's go ahead and check out some of the comments. I feel like we're leaving these guys out. I wanted to shout out a couple people. We got the Coinily, Yellow something, Yellow Fever for you. What's up, bud? Man, I should have messaged him. I would love to have had him on here with us. Let's see.
Not too late.
Hey, I want to respond to Thomas Gutierrez about Genesis mining. He says it's been 5 years since Genesis mining will be around. When will I start Genesis mining? When when I'm too stupid to.
I knew you were gonna go there.
All right. When I'm too stupid, that's when I'll start Genesis mining. So.
That's why I wish Yellow was here, man. Yo, John, what do you think about Genesis? Like, what are your results? Are you really like comfortable not holding it and giving it up for a system that's going to give you a little bit over time?
I'm actually liking it so far, especially the X11 contracts. Mainly because I haven't had to purchase half of my hash power for X11, and it's because of all these great people that are in the chat here. Using my code and giving me a bunch of hash power for it, so the return on investment for that for me is really short. And I just figured out how far along I am with the SHA-256. I started my first contract back in December, and right now I'm about 31% of the way of receiving my ROI.
All right, so yeah, you're seeing.
When I hear people talk about Genesis mining, I always hear them. They always say they're on their way to receiving their ROI. I haven't heard anybody who actually said they received their ROI, other than a few people, and they don't even really put money into it. They seem to use the referral program to get their money out of it. And here's the other thing is if you just bought the coins, you probably would have had your ROI and then some by now, at least. And you depending what you want to do, if you wanted to hold or if you wanted to sell them, you could have sold it for cash on a premium at least, and gotten a little bit more out of it, and you would have had cash in hand instead of waiting, or the promise of a wait of future payments in the future. Because for me, I would rather have my money now and made the profits now than wait, because you're just what do they call amortizing your payouts over a year. So it sometimes it just doesn't make sense to cloud mine, and that's kind of been my argument. And if you were going to mine, you should have mined a long time ago when it was you should have really mined at a loss. You would have been way ahead than what you would receive now when you're Genesis mining.
Yeah, I get that. You're making a great point. But the thing was too is that I wanted to create a stream of passive income as opposed to just buying and holding or whatever. Mainly because I'm getting money from the GI Bill. I'm getting paid to go to school, so that's just money that I get to dump into it. And also, my wife didn't know shit about investing or anything like this, so this was a way for me to show her something like that, you know, and showing a return coming in every day.
Yeah, and I'm still getting my payouts from Genesis, regardless of the referrals. To this day, James, I'm actually still at like, I'm still going to hit, if I still keep getting paid out till that 1 year mark, I'll be in profit, which is insane.
And I don't have any referrals, and I'm going to be back to ROI in 2 more months. So
yeah,
like 5.5 months.
I'm buy and hold. I'm with everyone on buy and hold, but it somehow does seem to slightly work out if you, I guess, get lucky with the contract you got at the time. It's difficulty dependent, isn't it?
Yeah. And it would be a really good experiment. You know, I haven't seen Brian's videos or anything. I don't know if he has any Genesis mining videos up or anything, but that would be a really good video experiment to just do a Genesis mining contract, purchase a few terahash, and then just update every so often without putting a referral code out there, just to see how long it does take to get your return on investment. You know?
I'll do that. I got some money sitting for something. I'll buy some stuff on a contract that has no referral link to it, and I'll see what it does. That'd be interesting.
Hey, Beans, we're on the topic of Genesis mining. If somebody puts their code in the comments section, I'll use it right now.
Oh, cool. Somebody drop your Genesis mining thingy, and he'll use it. I used to know mine by like memory, but then I forgot it for my Uber link, and then they changed my Uber link. Like I used to know it, and then they changed it, and now I'm sad.
Mine's easy to remember. It's WT Mr. BX.
That's your Uber code?
No, that's my Genesis.
Oh, Genesis, that's even easy. Yo, that's way easier than mine. Mine's like ridiculous. I don't even mess with that anymore.
I have the BX in there, so it stands for the Bronx. It works out well.
That's going on 21 million club. Dude, I should have. See, there's so many people. Yo, I can't really use any of my electronics right now. Somebody invite Yellow Fever and 21. James Bond, can you do that? You got a YouTube DM on lock, right?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and invite him. Let me see if I can. I'll send a private message to his YouTube. That way he could log in here.
All right, 21 million club and Yellow Fever for you. We're gonna invite you in if you want to join. We're just shooting the shit now. So yeah, besides that, what is your thoughts on BitConnect then, opposed to Genesis mining, John?
Yeah, fuck BitConnect.
Word.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. See, it's hard. Like, I do find it hard to be like, I'm okay with Genesis mining, and then say like, fuck BitConnect. You know what I mean? Because they're so MLM together. But it is like, fuck BitConnect, like straight up. Like, I'll pay somebody for that white paper at this point. I just want to fucking read it.
I see how people can relate like Genesis and BitConnect together because of the referral shit or whatever. But the thing with BitConnect is that, you know, like you said, there is no white paper, there is no proof of anything, and what is it? They're telling you all of your earnings in USD, right? So, in that, with them doing that, so they will never run out of other people's money to pass around if that's what they're doing, and there's no proof of this bot. And if it's so great, then why didn't they keep it to themselves? And at the goodness of my heart, I'm going to put this trading bot out there and make everybody else money, you know? So,
yep.
Because they're skimming off the top. I mean, they're just skimming off of other people's money. I think that's what they're doing. I mean, it's not uncommon to have like trading bots that do that for you. If you go to regulated exchanges, there's trading bots for forexes and everything, and they just take other people's account and trade for them. what they do is they just take a percentage for themselves. How they're making money, I don't know. It seems like a pyramid scheme. So I would assume all they're doing is you have to get new users in. Those new users pay up to the top line, to the top of the pyramid, and then the new users bring in new users, there's only so many levels that you can go before you run out of people to sucker in.
Yeah, that's why BitConnect's doing so well. Like, everyone's saying, like, yeah, it's a perpetual motion machine. And it is. It's built on blockchain. Blockchain makes everything better, but eventually it will stop and it will come crashing. Hey, 21 Million Club. Hey, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, how's everything going in Mexico? Any news?
Not really. It's just kind of quiet,
That's good. That's good. Anybody want to talk about anything in the comments? Let's see what we got going on down here.
I just want to add something to the to the Genesis mining thing. I used to do the cloud mining thing when I was young and stupid, and then I realized you never get your ROI back. It's only worth it if you hold it long term.
Yeah, eventually it does start to feel like that, especially when you buy a mining contract when Bitcoin's under 1,000 and now it's tapping on 3,000's door. It starts to hurt knowing that you spent it on anything. I mean, it doesn't matter if it was a mining contract or if it was a 36-inch TV or an Xbox One. You're going to be pretty butthurt you spent Bitcoin regardless. So, I mean, you could say that about Genesis mining contracts, or you could say that about, me going to the Bahamas when I sold my Bitcoin when it was like, what, 1,400 or something. I'm so mad. So, I mean, you could relate that emotion to almost anything you spent Bitcoin on because of that volatility.
Exactly.
At least when you spend money in Genesis mining, I don't know, the only thing I could think of is like daily scratch-offs or something. It gives you like that, it's like a game I don't know. It's something to have fun with, that's it.
There you go. Yeah.
So let's see. We got Thomas J. Pear down there. Mario, how you guys doing? Yellow. He said send him. He said send him an invite. Oh, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
I already
do
sent him
Skype.
an invite to his private message on YouTube, so hopefully he could join us soon.
Yeah, Yellow Fever. We're on Google Hangouts. I can't run Skype. I think I'll end up blowing up my computer. Alright, so anybody want to talk about anything in particular? We could get off the topic of scams, or we could dig more into stuff like Gladiator Coin or whatever. It's up to you guys. I just saw that there's ICO that just came out, the EOS. I don't even know what the hell it's called, but everyone's going FOMO for it.
Yeah, what the hell is EOS? I see a lot of YouTubers talking about it. Is it Ethereum? Is it on the Ethereum chain? Like, what blockchain is this ICO on?
Yeah, I have no clue. I had some guy come into my store. I actually sell Bitcoin for cash through LibertyX, and we sell a lot of Bitcoin locally. There's more and more people coming in every day, but we sell for cash through that process. And somebody came in and tried to buy like a few $1,000s, and they could only buy a couple hundred because they didn't have the LibertyX verifications and everything. But they were only buying Bitcoin, and this was their first time ever buying Bitcoin because they heard about this ICO. And my head just exploded, and I had to contain myself, and then I just went about my job and started fixing phones. But, he told me about this, and it was at $1.50, and now I heard it's like $7 or something. I don't fucking know, but that's all I know about it. Yeah, I got a fruit fly in here too, man. Jonathan wants to know if you used his Genesis mining code. He said, please let the guy know who used my code. Thank you.
Tell him that the guy says you're welcome.
Oh, you did. I saw that just popped up. Pivx. Pivx, Dash, Monero, all those coins, I don't really pay much mind to them because it's not really in my interest. Anybody know anything much about them?
Well, I was holding Pivx for a while. I bought into Pivx at 47 cents.
Same here.
And
I got in
wish I
about
held
around
on
50
to it at
cents.
some point. What?
I think I got in around like 50 cents.
Yeah, and it's a really nice coin to have. It's fast. It's fast as shit. In fact, Thomas G did a video about it on his channel where he did a Dash and Pivx race, and Pivx won that with giving Dash a head start. But I really like that coin. The only thing I wish it had was a cap on the amount of coins that were ever going to exist. That's why I like Dash too, is because it has a cap on it. It's fast, and for the longest time I've been receiving Litecoin with my Dash X11 contract, and I just recently switched that back over to Dash because I want to start getting back into that coin, because I feel like this is still a really good investment, a really good coin to have, and I want to hold on to that and just hold more than just 3 coins,
Yeah, I have a couple.
From what I know, what Pivx used to be called Darknet Coin, and it's literally a fork of Dash. And first time I've seen it was Yellow Fever for You. Seen some of his videos, and then also Thomas Gutierrez's videos. Same video where he did a Bitcoin. I think he did some other coins, and he compared the speed. The only thing that told me was that Pivx is not used all that much. It just may be just speculation, but from what I understand, it's hopefully one day will become a coin that can be used. Same goal as Dash. It wants to be cash. It wants to be a cash system, and for that, in that sense, maybe most cash systems are inflationary, and if Pivx is trying to model that to be cash, it makes sense in that regard.
My qualm with Dash is that whole built-in marketing funding thing. I don't know if I like that. Cash doesn't need that. Litecoin doesn't have that.
Well, Litecoin, since Charlie Lee left Coinbase, he raised $500,000 in Litecoin for a nonprofit, and some of that money is going to go into marketing. And so I think it's going to be common that these coins are going to start some form of marketing and to get new users, because we're at a point where you're trying to build a community, and to build a community you need new users. You need to bring in new users to grow your user base, and it's worked for Dash really well, and Pivx seems to have its own community. Every coin has its own community, and they need to reach out to new users in order to grow. Otherwise, it's going to just die off. So they're trying to build their own network effect. Bitcoin was probably has a very strong network effect because at the time it was the only coin, and it had a very head start. But I think with some of the scaling debate and some of the high fees and the congestion in the network, you could almost see the spillage going to other coins and other currencies.
How volatile do you guys think that Bitcoin market is gonna get, before August?
Oh, Litecoin? I think it's going to keep going up before August. I feel like people are going to start maybe diversifying their portfolio on that top 3. Move down to that cheaper coin that's available. It's Litecoin. And like he was saying, like James Bond said, Charlie Lee is completely devoted and dedicated to the code of this coin right now, and that's way more than Bitcoin's got going for it. I think that peace of mind is going to help investors move their flow, and that volatility is going to be insane because people are going to be taking profit and people are going to be taking safe haven, so it's going to be crazy.
What if something goes wrong with Segwit 2x? Has anybody
already
seen
went
the
wrong.
code? What happened?
There's some emails from Jihan Wu. I'm guessing to the Segwit 2x devs. They're trying to build tools so they can split the coin.
Do a hard fork.
I got faith in the whole Bitcoin thing. I think that I don't remember. I think Andreas said it. It's a game of chicken, and I don't think that these people, when it comes down to it, are going to want to throw everything they've built everything on just to play a game of chicken. I personally think all these smart people are going to work this shit out, and it's going to be okay. And if not, I'm willing to risk what I'm already willing to risk.
What do you say about a yellow fever?
I didn't catch for the whole thing. I just got in on that part right there, so I don't even know what we're talking about.
We're talking about Segwit 2X, man.
X. It's a hostile takeover. I made this in my first video on talking about Segwit. They're just taking the name Segwit, putting it in front of a code and saying, hey, Segwit.
I didn't catch anything you said.
Yo, Yellow, all your miners are stealing your bandwidth, bro.
He's out in the boonies, man.
Yeah.
He's out in the sticks. Well, not even the sticks, the dirt.
Yeah.
Off. But he's right, though. He was telling me that the only thing about Segwit 2X that's related to Segwit, as far as we know, is the name, because it has Segwit in it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen a code. Has anybody else seen a code on it?
No,
No,
but
it's
somebody
closed source.
tells me that it's just a stall tactic to avoid Segwit adoption.
Yeah, that's what I believe too. I really believe that as well.
What's scary is the article I read about everybody supporting it. It has so many companies supporting it, and major pools and miners and names in the space just pushing for it. And then I found out it's not exactly what I was led to believe it was in a couple articles I actually read on Cointelegraph.
Well, I hope it does well. It's not like I'm sitting there hoping like, oh, I hope Segwit 2X fucks up. No, I want Bitcoin to prosper, but just in the event something does happen, I went ahead and got me some Litecoin, because Litecoin is a really good go-to in the event of a Bitcoin fuck-up. In my opinion, really, Litecoin is a better Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is so much more valuable, and it's the one that's proven itself the most.
Yeah, well, Bitcoin, Litecoin could run into the same issues Bitcoin has if it got the same adoption rate. If Litecoin got the same exact transaction volume as Bitcoin, we'd be in the same boat with Litecoin.
Well, not true, Ken, because Ken, the Litecoin already has SegWit.
Oh, well,
so
yeah, true, okay.
It already has adoption to it, so if it does get to that point, they can run a Lightning network. But Charlie Lee really would like Bitcoin to have SegWit as well, so they can both have Lightning networks, and you can run nodes across both blockchains, and that was his really ideal goal. So, but there could be a chance for Litecoin to really go up in value, like John Carruthers says. But lately, what I've noticed is when the price goes down recently, they've all gone down. And I was wondering what everyone's take on that. Before, I used to see different prices kind of go up, or vice versa. Now, when Bitcoin, whenever there's bad news in general, and especially with the scaling debate and some of Ethereum's problem, it seems to drag down the whole market. Like the whole altcoin market and Bitcoin and everything was bleeding for a while. I don't know if there's a safe haven other than cashing out your coins. That may be the only safe haven if anybody's looking for a safe place to be.
Well, according to the Dollar Vigilante, cashing out isn't even a safe haven anymore.
Yeah, well, Tone was even saying it may be time to short, and that's rare of him to ever say.
But short Bitcoin?
Yeah, his tweet the other day was fucking hilarious. He was like, "Get ready to
Well,
short
he was
this
wrong
bad boy."
because the price has gone up since then.
Well, I can't remember the exact tweet, but there was a stipulation. He was saying if this happens. So I'm saying like this got everybody on edge. This whole like debate right now has everybody on edge.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
I like to know.
that statement.
what I like to know is what is everybody going to do when the market turns to a depression, when it downturns, because we've gotten a really big rise for almost 8 months now, since a part of last year into all the way till now, more than 8 months, probably 9 months. When it turns the other way, what are people going to do? Are they still going to mine? Are they going to start trading into different coins? Are they going to try to chase the money, or are they going to just hold? Ideally, you would want to cash out and let the market dump, and then buy back in at the bottom. So what's everyone's plan if the market does dump?
Can you hear me?
Probably just hold.
Yeah,
we can hear you.
I will hold because I believe that the dollar is going to dump too. So if you're cashing out and you're holding dollars and the dollar dumps, you're losing everything, because if the dollar dumps, everything's going to go to cryptocurrency. So I feel it's best to hold anyway. And I hold lots of coins. I don't just hold Bitcoin. I hold like several different coins.
Yeah, diversify your portfolio, and right now that's probably the best idea.
Or if you're at a top, and you feel like the market's going to go down, you could sell for gold.
Gold's too manipulated.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Gold and
what is the
silver's
price of gold right
manipulated.
now anyway?
Yeah, just hold it.
I'm just saying, I haven't looked at gold since Bitcoin passed it, that's all.
So Ken,
Hey, Yellow Something, thank you for joining, man. I appreciate you making the time. That's awesome to have you here.
yeah. Hey, I got something to show you. I have a new toy that I bought. I know you really like the old one, and we did that off air. But I will show you my new toy on air. Okay?
Oh, we are in for a treat. Please and thank you.
It's a dildo. Oh, it's a shotgun.
This is a shotgun.
Yo, she is beautiful.
That's for killing all the snakes around, and its poisonous lizards out there.
Yes, everything's poisonous here.
Yeah, man, this shit was hilarious. He was like, "Oh, this thing's really poisonous. Poke, poke, poke."
I killed that snake the other day at the neighbor's house. That snake almost bit her.
Oh.
I've got that video of that up.
I'll be right back. I need another beer.
Gary, I'm thinking that you're probably the only person around in a large radius that has the anti-venom for that dual venom snake, right?
No, I do not. It only costs, like one vial of anti-venom, I believe, is about $1,800 now. And if you get bit by one, it could take up to 150 vials from dying.
Oh, wow.
Shit.
That's a lot.
Since we're speaking about poisons and dying, what do you think about ICOs, guys? What the fuck do you think about ICOs?
Bubble.
I don't mess with them.
I say go all in on every new ICO. I mean, you're gonna make your money, dude.
Yeah.
Because Ken, you're a mobile GoPro, right? You
Yeah,
made money on that. Did you dump it because you doubled your money? I saw your video. If you just sold as soon as that was available on the market, you would have doubled your money.
I think
and
it
go
was
into
more
the
than
next
doubled,
ICO.
because I think the math was I would have paid 50 cents a coin, or 50 cents a token, and it hit $4. So if I would have sold, I would have been pretty good, but I didn't because, I don't know.
I've only bought one ICO in my entire life, and I
Yeah.
spent like $20 on it.
I didn't even sell the ICO I bought because I actually like Mobile Go. I think it's cool. I'm waiting to get it on my phone so I can play around with the app and all the games they have.
What ICO did you buy, and how did it do?
It was Mobile Go, and I think it's like around $1 and some change right now. But it was a typical ICO. It was actually, I don't know. It was really weird, honestly, because they made one token on 2
That question was
platforms.
directed to the 21 guy.
Oh, I bought. I bought Liz. I spent $20 on Liz. It was like 400 Mexican pesos at the time.
Oh, okay.
I made about 104 times my money. You know, I made $2,080 minus the $20 investment.
Well, goddamn. You know, I just don't have the balls to put any money forward on the ICO, but I'm stupid enough to cloud mine. So.
Yeah, I'm serious. If you all really want to make money, you should just go into an ICO, get in and get your coins. As soon as it hits the market on the exchanges, dump it. All right,
that's what I did.
That's how people are making money. You just dump it, and then, or at least recover the money that you put in. If you still want the token, you could hold on to the token and let it float, whatever. But if you really want to make money, and your goal is to make money or get more Bitcoin, go into an ICO, get the token. As soon as it goes on whatever exchange, dump it. When you double or triple or 4 or 10x your money, dump it and go get your more Bitcoins and just repeat the process. And that's the hype. That's the cycle we're in.
Yep, you're exactly
exactly.
right. So where do you think that all these ICOs are going to take us, though? Like the whole pump and dump wave that you're talking about. Like, where do you think that's going to put crypto in the mainstream's attention? Like, where do you think this is going to get us as far as adoption worldwide goes?
Nowhere. Probably just SEC regulated.
You can't have people just making millions and millions and millions of dollars creating nothing and dumping it for something, and you can't have that. They're not going to have it.
Well, it's going to be just like how it was in the .com and the housing bubble and everything. It generates money, and maybe out of all those ICOs, you'll have like a few companies that actually will do something, and those companies will survive all that. So what all this is just a way to fund, just literally just fund ideas, and most of them aren't worth a damn, but some of them will be, and so far that's been the model that at least the world has been using to create new industries. You know, if you go back to the .com, most of those, I mean, I remember it very clear. A lot of people wrote prospectus, and it says in their prospectus that they made an IPO for the purposes of just selling stocks, and that's how, and it was in their prospectus. You know, they had a website, and that was it. The IPO, that was their business model. But out of that, you know, we got Google, we got Facebook, we got Twitter. Ironically, all of those came after the .com bust. So I think after the bust of the ICO or the crypto coin bust, probably 3 to 5 years later after that, you'll see maybe a wider adoption of some coins and companies and an industry around that's going to come out of it. But this is a cycle that we're all used to. It's just hype, a lot of money being pumped in, and then of course the dump afterwards. So I just want to let everyone know that they should all expect the dump, but you can make a lot of money during the hype.
Like Zcash. Oh shit, man! That went to like 7,000 bitcoins.
Yeah.
How much?
7,000 bitcoins on Poloniex.
Was that? Well, that's when it first came out, right?
Yeah, that's the first day it came out. It just shut up.
Well, fucking Mark Cuban is even talking about an ICO now, isn't he? I think it was Unicorn, UNKRN or something. I don't know. It's for sports. It's for sports gambling. You know, he's a sports guy. It's a sports gambling token. He's talking about the ICO, so you know he's gonna pump and dump it, or at least, or maybe he'll be the martyr. Maybe he'll be the martyr of ICOs, the rich man who lost $1 billion in crypto.
Well, he's well connected in the online gambling. Sorry, go ahead, Yellow.
The thing about all these ICOs is probably almost like 99 or 100% of them aren't even legal as far as where you live to even put money into is one. So if you put any money into an ICO, you better just figure it's gone forever. But like James Bond has said, that the current thing is that you can go and throw money into it, get your coins, sell it the next day, and get your profit back plus more. But as far as a long-term hold, sketchy.
Yeah, I agree.
So how do you guys feel about using Bitcoin? Do you just, I know how we have a lot of people here, so like how do you use Bitcoin? How's crypto, or not just Bitcoin, but crypto in general? How do you use it to better your life? Why are you involved in it?
Well, I initially got into this because, well, here's the thing. Like, I heard about Bitcoin like shortly after it came out, and the first time I remember ever looking at the price of Bitcoin, it was $10, and I had plenty of money to dump into it, but because of lack of knowledge of what it was and everything, I was like, I don't know. I guess I'll play with the stock market, and that ended up being a huge mistake. And some time passes, and then November, December comes around last year, and I started watching some YouTube videos, and then Bitcoin showed up, and I was like, oh, hey, I remember that. And then I started checking the price, and I was like, holy shit, it's fucking gone up. And so I was like, I need to get in on this and figure out what's going on, So I started learning about what Bitcoin is and how it all works and all that shit. And I really liked what I was reading and what I was watching and all that shit. So bought into it, and I was thinking like, well, maybe I can make a lot of money at this, right? Make USD out of this. But then as I start to realize, the US dollar is not worth a shit, and I understand how that all works now, where money is just created out of thin air, just popping into existence all the time. And now I'm like, okay, this is like a doomsday type of coin, and like I need to hold on to this shit, because the USD is not going to last forever. It's destined to collapse, just like every other fiat currency that has ever existed. It will collapse. So this is my preparation for when the spiraling effect of the USD collapse happens. So I have never cashed back out into USD or anything like that. I've only used it to purchase hash power, and that's what I plan on doing, is just to hold on to it. And the only reason I ever would cash out into USD would be in case of an emergency situation where I didn't have anything to check an account or something like that, and I'd use like you're doing with the Shift card. But I really don't want to give up my Bitcoin or any of my currency that I'm holding on to,
That was what was really appealing to me about Bitcoin as an investment option, was the ease of selling it for groceries if I didn't have money. Like, I never really was like, oh yeah, let me buy gold. And then if I'm broke, because I was paycheck to paycheck, if I needed to sell my gold, let me go through that whole process. Or let me buy stocks. And shit, I need bread. Wawa, do you accept Tesla stock? No. So it'd be such a hard process. But when I looked at Bitcoin as an investment option, and it wasn't just that, it was like a currency and all these things. And like you said, the Federal Reserve has nothing to do with being federal, nor has a reserve at all. And it just keeps printing paper as it will. How about you? Dude, I love the hat, man. I love that hat, UASF.
Yeah.
21 million. Yo, what do you think? How do you use cryptocurrency? Why are you involved in it? What appeals it to you?
I saw it back in 2011. It was like 50 cents, and then I wanted to buy some. And then I saw local Bitcoins. So I was like, oh shit, man, this is local. I can't get any. And I didn't click on it. I mean, I could have found out that you could pay with PayPal, but I started getting it from faucets, and basically I haven't sold anything. I mean, I did buy a mining contract, and I got like about a little bit over half a Bitcoin out of that, and I just kept it. And I mean, I invested into Ether and Lisk, and after that, that's it. I just buy and hold. I could use it to pay my bills, but I rather just, I don't pay much. I pay like $20 for electricity for 2 months, so I'm good with
Holy
that.
fucking shit, $20.
Yo, you know what's fucking crazy? I don't mine. I need to mine, because Yellow, I know Yellow's gonna yell at me because I'm still not mining, but I don't pay electricity at all, and they just upped my rent. So I swear to God, I'm gonna buy a mining rig because they upped my rent, but they don't charge me for electricity. So I'm just gonna start mining now. I have nothing to lose.
But you can't hardly get the GPUs to mine anymore. You know, I was over at Fry's Electronics. You know, I mean, those places are massive. Any GPUs, nothing.
So you would say it's probably more profitable and an easier flip to find and buy a GPU and flip it on eBay rather than set it up and actually mine with it.
Yeah, that's why I said earlier, buy GPUs. Now you guys know NVIDIA announced that they were going to start making graphics cards for mining, right?
Yep, I'm going to look at their stock too because that's going to affect their stock as well, man. Yeah, they did announce that. I'm excited for NVIDIA.
The AMD is doing the same thing too, but there's a big problem with these GPUs is because they don't have anything to put a signal out and nothing to do graphics for like gaming and stuff. So what happens is after, you know, you can no longer effectively mine with it, nobody is going to want to buy it because they can't even play video games on it, which that's always been the argument, you know, is that, hey, if I GPU mine, you know, when I can't mine anymore, I can sell this GPU to a gamer, and it, you know, he can use it. But with these new GPUs, you can't mine with it. That's it.
So you mine yourself actually like from home physically, and you also do Genesis mining contracts as well, don't you?
Yes, I actually want to trade electric bills with 21 there.
Yeah, but I only pay that because I'm always working. You know, I work 10, 11 hours a day, 6 days a week. I'm pretty much never home. So yeah, I mean, you know, when my nieces and my nephews were here, oh shit, man, I had to pay like, I don't know, like $200.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Hey, I'll pay $200 if you'll pay my bill. That would make me happy.
Yeah, I'll never pay $200 for electricity. You know, that's just too much.
Hey, Yellow Fever, have you ever thought about like getting a solar panel or something, or maybe a homemade wind turbine or something, you know, going off grid or maybe grid connected or something just to kind of reduce it, or is it just not cost effective for you?
Yeah, but you know, I'm spending my money on solar panels and not miners that'll make me more Bitcoin.
Wow, I could see where that's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, if you get the panels and everything, I can come out there and install it for you for free, or no, for some Bitcoin.
Exactly. Losing more.
So,
Anyway.
anybody have any topics they want to cover? Anybody got anything that they're currently digged into?
Well,
Yeah, what do you guys think about Toshi Nakamoto?
Fake Noshimaka. Oh my god, I love that. That needs the hat plus the shirt. I'm buying both, bro.
Yeah.
Well, you started, so there you go, man. What do you think about what Craig Wright said?
I think he's an ass. You know, if he really were Satoshi, he was speaking about nobody controlling Bitcoin, no king or anything like that, and then he comes and he tries to do whatever the fuck he wants, telling people to like fuck off. That is fucked up, you know. That's not the attitude that Satoshi, you know, showed on the white paper.
Yeah, if he was really Satoshi, it wouldn't take more than 5 minutes to prove it. It's just, he's going to become a celebrity from this, and he's going to make money off this whether we like it or not, whether he's real or not. Yeah. It doesn't matter now. The fact that he said matter, he was, you know? and that's it.
I heard somebody call him Satoshi on the speech. I'm like, hey Satoshi, I have a question. Fuck you, man. He's not Satoshi.
But I seen an article, I can't remember where a lot of the newcomers are starting to like really believe that it's just that he is Satoshi, which is so weird, but that's just how people are. They need somebody they can physically hold on to. But I guess that's real in a sense, because that's why I like to hold on to Litecoin. I know Charlie Lee's out there. I mean,
Yeah.
it does make it comfortable, but just because you feel comfortable doesn't mean he's really the creator of Bitcoin. I mean, the guy is obviously not Satoshi Nakamoto. I mean, it's just blatant.
Yeah. What do you think, Yellow?
What do I think? This is the first I've heard about it. I haven't even watched anything. I've been stayed out of it for like 3 or 4 days on purpose. I'm like on vacation, you know. But
Hey, Brian,
You know,
James, I'm sorry. Oh, there you go. I thought that was you cutting out. Go ahead, keep going.
you know, I think that whoever Satoshi Nakamoto is going to remain a secret. You know, and we're not going to know who this person really is unless the only thing I think might bring him out is you read the white paper and you read the vision about it, and it was a vision of decentralized currency, and it seems like now with SegWit 2x and Bitman's behind that, and you know they're controlling the manufacturing. They control the biggest mines, and they also want the coding. And I think we might be able to hear from Satoshi about this against something like this, because it does go against everything that he put forward.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Brian.
What troubles me.
Go ahead.
It seems like people need a leader, and they have such a powerful need for a leader that they'll overlook the things that we find obvious and go ahead and accept someone who has stepped forth claiming to be said leader. And that scares me, because that means we have a lot of sheeple into the community, a lot more than I suspected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James, what do you think about this guy?
Well, I think that Craig Wright is not Satoshi Nakamoto. He's lying about it. And I also believe Satoshi Nakamoto is dead. He's either dead or he's laughing at all of us, and he's totally lost his private keys and is probably really pissed that he forgot his password.
That'll be Craig Wright. That'll be Craig Wright right there.
Yes.
Right.
Fuck you. I'm a mathematician. You know, you need a $20,000 machine. Fuck you.
Well, you know, I think he has a. When he first came out, he said he had a supercomputer, and I think the reason he had a supercomputer was he's trying to hack that the password to the keys he lost if he's Satoshi Nakamoto, which I don't believe he is at all. I think that guy is a hoax. He's lying through his teeth. Because I did a reading on him when he did an interview with BBC.
Yeah.
And he is lying. He's not Satoshi Nakamoto at all. It's a front. It's a distraction. I don't know why he's getting so much attention. But maybe because he's the only one that actually self-proclaimed to be Satoshi Nakamoto. And so since nobody else is coming forward, which I also think the reason is because the reason Satoshi Nakamoto is dead is because I think he is dead. That's why you never hear of him. The keys are not moved.
Somebody said he was Hal Feeney, but I think he's getting paid by Jihan Wu and Roger Ver to promote SegWit 2x and I don't know what the fuck else.
Well, what if the real Satoshi does come forward and we're like, nah, fuck you, man, you're not Satoshi.
I mean, if he's able to
I would
prove
propose
it,
that we kill him immediately. Is my proposal. because you know.
Okay, once again, James, we do not advocate the killing or harming of anyone, anywhere, at any time. None of us do.
No.
All right, I propose that he goes away and never comes back ever again.
Yeah, I just want him to go on a vacation, maybe, you know, and just stay on vacation.
We'll crowdfund it. We'll crowdfund him a place in Tahiti.
Sterling down in the comments said if Satoshi Nakamoto lost his keys, I would kill myself. So that's probably what led to it, the egg and the chicken theory. Maybe Satoshi lost his keys, and that's why we haven't heard from him.
That's why he didn't move the Genesis block coins.
I also wanted to bring up another thing is, and I've been wondering about it too, and I would like to hear everybody else's opinion of the abrupt hiatus of Amanda B. Johnson from Dash Detailed and from Dash. What does everybody think about that? Because that was kind of a sudden move.
She got fired.
She got fired? Okay.
No, see, Dash is smart. Dash is smart. So it's like, this could just be a publicity stunt where she's going to be like, hey, I have a good idea, and it's doing all the work for them now because here you are talking about it. You know what I mean? It could just be a publicity stunt.
That's a brilliant move by Amanda B. Johnson. Let me get paid for taking a hiatus, and then I'm still doing the marketing.
Yeah, well, she has to stay on hiatus, so maybe she's still getting paid to stay offline and not say anything. And, you know, I just think that they're really good at marketing. She and the team are really smart. I just, in my heart, want it to be a publicity stunt.
How about all the Dash haters out there? Any Dash haters? How about you, Yellow Carruthers?
Oh, I'm not a Dash hater, really. You know, I like both Dash and Pivx. You know, I'm not really picking sides on either one, even though I'm not holding Pivx.
I'm not holding that.
Some regret there, John?
What'd you say?
Do I sense some regret there?
Yeah, you do.
Really care what Amanda does. It doesn't bother me in the least bit.
Yeah, this isn't scripted, you know, like she said. You know, this isn't scripted. And then she looks like a robot, you know, trying to convince people that it's not scripted.
I just want Dash to get that MasterCard. That's been like, what? I feel like I've been being teased with that for a year now. I just want a Dash MasterCard. I bought Dash very cheap, and I saw it being promoted, so I ended up getting it. I sold it like 100, never looked back. I kept one, and I just want to spend it with a goddamn MasterCard, because that's what I was promised, and I still haven't gotten one.
Do you know how that's supposed to work? Is this supposed to work like BitPay, where you prepay, you know, sell your Dash kind of deal, or is it like your shift card?
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work as far as I know, and I don't feel like that should be too difficult. I don't understand why it's taking so long.
No,
probably because nobody accepts Dash or wants to take a Dash as payment like they do with Bitcoin.
Well, no, you wouldn't have to do that. This would be where, like BitPay, where you sell your Dash on the way to the MasterCard. So they would have like a Dash MasterCard app. You would send that app.
That's what I'm saying. There's no merchant processor that's willing to accept Dash probably at this point in time.
I haven't seen anybody.
That's the whole deal on working on the Dash MasterCard ICO right now.
Yeah, I saw that. Wasn't that Charlie Sherman them? Who was it?
I don't know. I'm just joking, you know.
No, but they were talking about getting a MasterCard soon. I just saw a tweet not too long ago. If they're doing an ICO for it, man, that's insane.
Are you just drinking his chain?
It would be smart for them to do an ICO for it because they could make millions on it.
Yeah. Somebody asked me what I thought about the 21 million ICOs. Like, holy shit, I didn't know I was having one. But whatever.
Everybody should have an ICO, obviously.
Are you gonna join mine?
What one? You have a few, right? Don't you have a couple?
I'll probably do for ladies.
Try one more time, man. What do you hear? You broke up.
I couldn't hear you, Yellow. All right. Well, anybody got anything they want to talk about?
You know, I had a question for you though about your shift card thing. That works differently than the BitPay thing, right? Where you spend the coin at that moment, as opposed to prepaying the card, or am I wrong about that?
Yeah, no, it's in the moment, which is why I love it. Like, I used to hate on BitPay, and I still hate on BitPay. I have a card, I'll never use it again. But it does serve a purpose, because if you want to sell like a whole Bitcoin on the fly, you don't have to go through any hoops. You just send the whole Bitcoin to the BitPay Visa, and your money is there as USD. So it's pretty cool. But for me, I spend here and there, so I like when it pulls at the time, and that's because whichever coin you can shift pay or shift payments, you can pick from Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin. So whichever one has the better volatility the day you're spending money or whatever, you can pick from any one of them.
Okay. So like, and do you have to have like some kind of app or something to switch that over, or?
Yeah, the Shift Payments app is a third-party app. It plugs into Coinbase, and it asks for permission to pull Bitcoin, which is like really uneasy. But here's the catch: you can set a daily limit. So it takes 24 hours to set a limit. My everyday limit's $100, and that's usually what I spend. And then whenever I used to just spend a chunk to pay rent, I would just put an email in, up my thing to the cost of my rent, swipe it, get a money order, and then have my limit sent back to $100. So if anybody stole my card, or if I went to Target and they were hacked for Visa information, nobody could use my Visa Bitcoin card or whatever card to spend more than $100.
And is Coinbase the only thing you can link it to, or what?
Yeah, it's Bitcoin and Coinbase, and then there's another one. It's Gladera. Gladera, if you use that exchange, which I never have, I see it as an option for the Shift Payments card.
Okay.
Hey Brian, I see you've turned on your camera.
Yeah, it's raining here. Is it raining there?
I don't know. I live in like a dungeon, man. My windows are blanketed out.
Yeah, I want to talk about something. We are all Satoshi Nakamoto.
Agreed.
That is so deep,
No.
bro. I wore a thing. Hold on, ready? I wore this on Halloween and I kept it because I feel like you're right, man. We are all Satoshi Nakamoto.
Right there. Right there. That's all the proof anybody needs in the world that you are Satoshi.
I am Satoshi. Everybody, tweet.
James, maybe
Kenneth
we could be your
Bozak is Satoshi
Nakamoto this year.
Nakamoto. I have just as much proof as Craig Wright right here. I'm the man.
Yeah, you can't fake that.
This is my coming out show.
Your name's right there on the little greeting thing.
So, I'm a little worried that you guys said there were people that were addressing Craig as Satoshi when I asked him.
Yes.
So that's why I bring this up. Like, we all have to, and I'm bad about this because I don't do anything with my channel. I just hop on y'all's channels and talk. But we have to do more outreach. I know we already do, but somehow we've got to get a wider audience. We've got to reach more people so that we can break this spell, or we can cause a suspension of belief that they have right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, whenever I see somebody comment on something where that's where they're trying to ask, usually I see it in the form of a question, like, I thought Satoshi Nakamoto was this guy, and I'm like, no, no. But then who am I to say no to, you know what I mean? It's crazy. So
Well,
you're right, we all got to just
Brian,
make sure we're vocal.
Brian, I think there might be a way we can do that, do some outreach. And I've been kind of doing some outreach myself in a not so conventional way, but that's one of the reasons why I trade Bitcoin peer to peer and put myself out there, is because the way I learned about Bitcoin and everything about Bitcoin and how it empowers you to become your own bank, and understanding what it means to take on responsibility for yourself and not rely on perhaps the state as so much, but you can go out and trade peer to peer and meet other people, and it does expose them to Bitcoin specifically, and eventually they'll learn more about it on their own in their own way, just like I have, because when I came in, it was a simple way. It was a way for me to make money. That's all it was. I saw it as a way to trade and make money, and that was it. Only until I got scammed and Mount Gox did I really understand how powerful, having control of of, of Bitcoin can be, because it does something to you. It leads you on a path to empowerment. And what I've noticed is when I go out, I try to at least meet someone, and if anything, I'll try to get them to buy or sell Bitcoin, just do a peer-to-peer trade, just like as the system was designed to do, where you join a network, so to speak. Like in mining, you're joining a mining network, a peer-to-peer system, which you create a worldwide network, which that's what the Bitcoin transacts on. But in physical reality, we need to build a peer-to-peer network, as in your peers, your fellow people, and going out there to meetups, and for whatever reason, if someone contacts you, and I know, Brian, you've been contacting me with Google Hangouts, and you've been putting yourself out there, and it's a hit or miss, but I think eventually you'll meet someone who wants Bitcoin, because the quickest and easiest way to get Bitcoin is not through Coinbase, is not through an exchange. It's literally from another person. And that's how I started, and that was the quickest way to do it. You didn't have to sign up or anything. You didn't have to give them your name or nothing. You can be totally anonymous, and that was how I got started, and that's how I try to get other people started as well. If they for whatever reason, they somehow manage to contact me in any way, and if I'm available at the time and I can trade with them, I will. And I'm hoping that act alone will get them on the path to joining this network, the peer-to-peer network, in which they can understand what Bitcoin's really about, empowering yourself, really.
No, you're absolutely correct. I actually stopped. I was buying, like I said earlier, I was buying Bitcoin at the beginning of the month just to sell at the end of the month for rent. But I decided to stop doing that. And what I did right before I stopped doing that, though, was I was just going on Facebook and saying, hey, who wants to buy some Bitcoin or who wants to buy some Ethereum? I got to pay my rent. And it was going pretty well, actually, which is surprising. I did a couple transactions using PayPal. I did a couple using Facebook payments. And I did some in person. People came to me or my store or my apartment, and I sold Bitcoin for cash. It was really interesting. So you're absolutely right. Like, we have to go back to the fundamentals of getting rid of the third parties like Coinbase and go to the soul of it, peer to peer. We got to really push the whole like local Bitcoins mentality.
James Bond, in what you just said, you sounded more like Satoshi Nakamoto than anyone who's claimed to be so far.
I take offense to that remark.
All I did was I just read the abstract and the last paragraph. the abstract, the first paragraph, and the last paragraph of the white paper that's available now. And ever since then, it makes sense what I think Bitcoin was supposed to be, or what maybe the original design. And overall, I think it's really just a grassroots movement, and that's what it really was. It's being turned into a commercial product, which I think Bitcoin is not a commercial product at all. It is,
James,
in my
you
opinion,
missed
a
the
grassroots
point. You
movement.
missed the point entirely because you ignored the math, and it's all about the math, you jerk.
Yeah,
Oh,
you need
yeah,
a $20,000 machine.
Yo, speaking of math, Tree in the comments pointed out to me Litecoin is over $50 right now. It is currently at $51.50. I am super excited about my portfolio right now, and my
I'm glad I
confidence.
sold my Steam.
I'm not gonna lie. I never put money. Can we all talk about Steam It? Everybody, we cool with that?
Yeah.
All right. I never put money into Steam It, nor have I ever told anybody to put money into Steam It. This is how I would say to use Steam It, and correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm misleading. But I would say to put your time and effort and maybe create content, or find some content that you can curate and then organize for people. So you're putting effort in. You earn your Steam It, sell it for Bitcoin, sell it for local fiat, pay your rent, eat breakfast, eat lunch, eat dinner. So that's how I would recommend to use Steam It. You know, you put yourself into it as effort, you earn with it, you cash out, and you live off of it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't feel right telling people to buy Steam It, lock up Steam It power, upvote my shit. Like, that's where I start to feel like it's a little fucked up to talk about it in that direction. Now, how do you feel about it?
I've never bought my Steam. I got it from Full Time Geek like about 4 months ago, and I recently sold it yesterday. You know, I sold it for Litecoin. But you know, I've never bought it, and I wouldn't buy it. You know, I'm not that stupid.
I've sold more Steam than I've bought, and the only time that I bought was just a couple of days ago, because my wife just joined Steam, and I wanted to, all my Steam was locked up in Steam Power, so I wanted to purchase just a little bit of Steam and send it to her, just to show her how that part of it worked, and then to give her a little bit of more voting power to, power up or whatever. So that was the only reason I purchased it, but I won't be purchasing anymore just willy-nilly, because I'm like, oh, I want some Steam, I'm going to throw it into my account or whatever, but it doesn't make sense,
Yeah, just get it, earn it, and that's pretty much it.
You know, curating sounds a lot like borrowing and gaining profit from someone else's creations.
Yeah.
When you curate, do you give a profit share to the creator?
Most of it goes to the creator, and then they give you like a percentage, from what I know.
Yeah, I do a lot of re-steaming, and it's definitely not the most profitable investment move through Steam It's process, but I do it because I like to share things I like, and I never put money in. I have some money, and I like using it to like things that aren't, I feel, as popular as they should be. So I'll find something that has like a couple pennies in it, and I'm like, oh man, I'm liking this and re-steaming it. Like how not to spread the wealth in that direction. So I like it feeling like it's like Robin Hood in a sense, where I can like give you some money. It's not like you're panhandling. You're actually out there trying to earn something. So I like that aspect of it.
But if you had 10,000 subscribers, you could tell them to power up their Steam and then come over and upload here.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till I get to 10,000 subscribers, and then I'm just gonna talk about everything to do with that. Like that's just gonna be my life.
Yeah. As far as like outreaching people, James, I told you before that I can't sell peer-to-peer because of the situation here, with the security and crime and whatnot. I mean, it's not all of Mexico, but it's the northern part where I'm from. So what I've been doing doing consulting, and recently I'm gonna be doing a couple of webinars, and I'm gonna be going all full Antonopoulos on people. So that's probably the best way I could help.
No, that's great. That's wonderful. And hopefully they'll have a chance to get whatever whatever cryptocurrency they're interested. Hopefully it'll be Bitcoin. It's most likely Bitcoin. And they'll have a chance to go on their little rabbit hole and figure out their own little mind trip on what money is and how it relates to their life.
Yeah, but people here, I don't know why they like ripoff. I hate that shit.
See, I love Ripple. I love Ripple, and I'm not afraid to admit it. And
why do you like it? What's going on? Speak for the people.
See, I only like Ripple because it has like 70 plus, almost 80 banks backing it, involved in the whole I love that there's names on it. I know you could point at the people that are involved, and if you look at any of that, banks are too big to fail. Even if they fuck this up, they're gonna find a way to make profit out of it, and they're gonna find a way to make it profitable. So at some point, I'm going to be in so much profit, and yeah, I'm going to use an altcoin to make more Bitcoin, but that's why I love Ripple. Ripple's going to make somebody somewhere money, and hopefully I'm one of them.
You can actually make free Bitcoin if you have Bitcoin. And about a week ago, there was this thing where Stellar has they're giving away 16 billion Stellars to Bitcoin holders, and all you have to do is sign up. All you have to do is sign a message with your cryptographic key, and there you go. Your cryptographic signature. And I got some. I got a lot of fucking Stellar, and I turned it into Bitcoin right away. So that's going on until the 27th of next month. So if you want to do it,
So wait, they're legit? You actually got your Bitcoin? Because I keep getting messages about it, and I keep thinking it's a scam, but it's legit?
No. It's legit. And if you have Ripple, or Ripoff, as I call it, you can get free Stellar as well.
So if I have some Ripoff, if I show them that I have Ripoff on my Ledger wallet, they'll send me Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Oh, guys, I'm all about that. I love free money. That's my favorite kind of money.
Instantly. You can do it, and everybody can do it. It's on till the 27th of next month, so go ahead.
I'm going to procrastinate like a typical stoner, and I'll get around to it in 5 days. You shouldn't have told me I had that much time.
I did it the first day, you know what I mean?
You shouldn't have told me I had that much time.
I'm like, fuck that, I work 11 hours a day, motherfucker. I want my fucking free money.
Send me a link. Send me a link for that so I can post it in the description box, and I'll link everybody's channels here, and I'll link that as well so all the viewers can go get their free coin if they're holding some. I saw somebody, Jonathan, said that he's holding Ripoff and he wants out. But you can get some Bitcoin now, so get your Bitcoin before you get out.
Yeah, and for every whole Bitcoin you have, you get about 1,000 Stellar.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
How do they know if I have a whole Bitcoin or not, though? I feel like that's too much information for anybody to have, even if they're giving me free
wallet,
shit.
And so they have the wallet address. They can just look it up and see what's in there.
Yeah, but you have to sign in with Facebook. I don't have Facebook anymore because I got kicked off.
That's a great way to link a lot of wallets to a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that now. See, I knew there was going to be some shit to this.
There's
I
always
knew if I asked questions, it was going to get fishy.
Yeah, you can always make a fake Facebook.
Yeah,
I don't have a Facebook because I got kicked off.
I highly recommend to make a fake Facebook if you do this now, because that's probably what I'm going to do. I usually make a new email for things like that, so I'm going to have to do a lot of work. This better be worth it, because I'm going to do this as an experiment now, because I'm interested on how much free shit they're going to give me, because I have quite a bit of all three, Stellar, Ripple, and Bitcoin, so let's see what they give me.
Yeah, about a month ago, I got free 500 Stellar. That was $20. And immediately, converted last week, I got about a couple of thousand. So that was about dollars, turned into Bitcoin.
That's awesome. All right. We got Sterling said he's been holding Ripple since 2 cents. Bruh, if you didn't take some profit, I'm just saying. Like,
Why didn't you sell it 30 cents?
When I buy altcoins, I consider that money spent on almost like imagine like Pokemon cards. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I bought a holographic Blastoids for whatever reason, and that's Ripple. You know, like, it's just money spent on this thing, and I hope it's worth something in the future, and if not, at least it's cute. I still have it.
I look at it. That's how I look at cryptocurrency. Like, I look at them like Pokemon, you know? Like, you gotta catch them all.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to get some profit up in this, you know what I mean? Like, we're all in this to make some money. I like altcoins because they're a means to more Bitcoin. And I've learned in this, as long as I've been in it, you literally don't lose any money if you hold it long enough. Like, everything has its pump day.
Yeah.
What do you think the next one's going to be, the pumps?
Whatever the fuck Mark Cuban's pumping right now. Like, that ICO is about to take off. Like, woo!
Ken, just to let you know, the Mark Cuban thing is just he has an ownership in the company that's going ICO.
That's not an ICO, that's an IPO, bro. Why is he trying to front?
He's trying to raise some money. He has some ownership in the company, and
well,
the next company is trying to raise.
Wait.
We
Mark
know.
Cuban is trying to raise some money. Tell him to go to Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. We know how this all works. So if he's talking about this unicorn thing, if you buy it and then dump it, you're probably going to be in profit. I'm just saying, we know how the whole dance and song works.
Well, he has stake in some online gambling companies that use tokens on their online gambling system. And what he's looking toward is an ICO toward a real token that's on the market that, I guess, takes place in his gambling networks, which potentially could become the niche gambling crypto coin. And he seems like, since he has a long-term investment in the gambling, that if he's doing it for that reason, he's not going to pump and dump. He's in that for the long haul.
So gambling, isn't that illegal in the U.S.?
Not in Nevada.
No,
Well,
not in some places. And this is another thing. I think that you know how technology evolves and laws have to adapt. You know what I mean? Like, speed limits, when they were speed limits for horse and carriages, when buggies were the thing, had to find a way to fix the speed limit when cars were invented. And these whole gambling laws are going to have to adapt to the technology's ability to gamble whenever the fuck you want. And basically, if you use a VPN and certain other aspects, you could make a lot of money and nobody would ever know. But if they build laws around this and make it legal where the gambling sites are going to play ball like Coinbase is playing ball, people might be more inclined to go to the legal way and not use dark web gambling. But right now, I could gamble on anything I want using Bitcoin with a bajillion different sites, and nobody would know the difference. So I think that law will change and adapt with the ability that blockchain is giving gambling.
There are going to be companies that are doing ICOs to raise money for real-world projects who are actually one day going to have a real-world project that works, or it even attempts to work. But by then, they're going to have to use something other than Ethereum because it's going to be so bogged down.
Ethereum Classic.
Ethereum Classic, yeah. I hold as much Ethereum Classic as I do Ethereum. I was really big on Ethereum back when it was like fucking $4, $7, $10, $12. Ethereum is like the biggest part of my portfolio, to be honest. I still haven't bailed on it. I still haven't sold it or shorted my majority holdings of it. What do you guys think about Ethereum, though? Like, I'm long on Ethereum. I think that Ethereum has real-world applications waiting to be built on it, but we're going to have to go through the trial and error adoption stages that we're currently seeing as early adopters. But yeah, where do you guys see Ethereum in the long run? Are any of you bullish on it or bearish?
Through Ethereum in the long run.
I'm actually all in on the Ethereum Classic. Ethereum is my biggest regret because I bought it at $7 and I bought a bunch of that shit, and I saw it go up to $12. Like, that's pretty good profit, you know, and sold it. And you know, I've been talking with Yellow Fever about this, and he has pointed out that Ethereum could be bogged down, and you know, the thing about Ethereum Classic is that it's going to be having a cap on it, you know, and like the Yellow was pointing out, is that Ethereum could become too expensive to program on, and people and everything that Ethereum Classic or Ethereum can do, Ethereum Classic can do as well, and I feel like it's very. That's why I bought into Ethereum Classic, and just kind of following suit with what Yellow Fever has told me about, you know. Back me up, Yellow.
Well, yeah, I mean, anything that Ethereum can do, Ethereum Classic can do. So, yeah, I mean, right, and all these ICOs are going to start to look at, you know, it used to be, you know, and now they're seriously looking at it because the Ethereum network is getting bogged down. I think that's going to be like, you know, a lot of people. The Ethereum network can't handle this.
Yellow, I'm sorry, man. We lost your audio.
Oh man.
Oh, well, there it goes. Jesus, man, you're in and out.
I don't know. I live out in the middle of nowhere.
Just type your responses in the comment section.
Yeah, the comments are being recorded, so in case maybe we can get some closed captioning.
So, no, Ethereum, don't bet against Ethereum, and definitely you want to be getting on Ethereum Classic. It's very undervalued right now.
Oh, Ethereum Classic is definitely undervalued in my opinion as well. I have a weird idea of Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. It's very fan fiction-y, but I'm gonna pitch it. You guys can tear it apart as you will. But imagine if you're the NFL or you're CNN or you're a major league sports or a major broadcaster of sports scores and announcements. When you use a blockchain to put these scores up in a ledger and use smart contract technology, you're going to go with Ethereum Classic, something that is immune to being changed no matter what. And then the things that like the betting websites where you can gamble using smart contracts will use Ethereum, which would end up being used as a smart contract, but it doesn't matter about its reversal. You already got paid out. Who cares? What do you guys think of that whole like aspect of like the Ethereum Classic contract being something more ironclad versus the Ethereum contracts as being who cares as long as it's an instant in and out scenario?
Yeah,
is this an argument for the use of Monero?
See, I'm not too well versed in Monero, but I do know Monero has that that appeal.
Because nobody knows where it goes or comes from, you know.
I think ETH could be used for like a presidential election. You know, they could change everything.
Well, so could Augur. You know, Augur is like one of those prediction coins.
Well, John, Augur is on the Ethereum network.
Yes, exactly. It's a token.
Right.
It's a token.
But my take on Ethereum, I'm going to take the opposite side of all of you, of course. I think Ethereum is, in the short term, you could probably make a lot of money. And if you have Ethereum, if you bought in last year and you have Ethereum now, you made a lot of money. I would, if I had Ethereum, I would cash out, but I don't have any, so I can't cash out. But I think they have serious issues. I think they have backlog issues, the scaling issues. and who knows, they may never go to a proof of stake. And if they do, I don't know how that's gonna really turn out. And so if they keep doing these ICOs on their network, they'll eventually bog down that system where you can't transact, and the exchanges won't let you withdraw or anything. And that's an issue that I see in the long term. And as far as Ethereum Classic, I'm not bullish on either Ethereum or Ethereum Classic, because with all these ICOs going on, and despite Ethereum like having the backlog and everything, and you would think that maybe some of the ICOs would move on to Ethereum Classic, they actually have no ICOs going on their network. So that tells me that there's an issue right there. Like, no one wants to go to that network to do an ICO. You have Waves, you have lists that have some ICOs going. The Omni, Counterparty all have some form of thing going on. And then when you look at Ethereum Classic, it's empty. There's nothing going on.
That's why you need to get in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's early adopter time.
The thing with Ethereum Classic is, they're just now getting a development team together and working out everything, and they still haven't gotten their cap in place yet. So the cap on the coins is coming. So, and Ethereum has, Vitality. So, as far as that, yeah, you're right. Ethereum is ahead. But I do believe Ethereum Classic, it will catch up to it, and it actually, because it has a capped limit, really has potential to surpass Ethereum.
Well, they have to hurry, because this is a limited moment in time where there's no regulation.
Yep.
And as time goes on, I mean, and this, I think the whole ICO thing is in a bubble, or is going to get out of control to the point where now they're going to put in regulation saying, okay, if you're going to do an ICO or a crowd fund, we want, you to do X, 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 and X, which probably is going to, dramatically reduce, what they can do as far as offering their ICO tokens to the general public. And so if Ethereum Classic takes too long doing this, they won't have a chance.
I'm sorry, would regulation look like how it did when Kim.com was doing his thing? I tried to get in on it, and I wasn't allowed because I wasn't already a proven millionaire.
It could be in some form of that, but who knows? Maybe they'll just straight out won't allow it. That's the other thing. They'll just say, hey, these ICOs are illegal, and if you're going to do it, you have to do it like this, and if you're going to have to do it like that, you might as well just do an IPO.
The Chinese want to regulate the ICOs already,
Yeah. And so if you're going to do it, if they do it in a way that basically it doesn't make sense to do an ICO, they'll just do an IPO, and in which case you'll just have the same situation. You'll probably have to be a qualified investor. But what I'm trying to say is that there's no regulation. Whether they have the cap or not, they should be doing something right now, because the iron's hot, and they should be like pumping hard, these ICOs, but they're not. So I don't know what's going on. There's something not happening there, because everybody else who's like barely have a network going on, Lisk, Waves, Omni, they're all taking a part of this ICO pie, and they're going crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, Lisk has an ICO?
Well, Lisk is that kind of a platform, just like Ethereum.
Yeah.
And Lisk already had an ICO, so but I don't know if they do, but they should. They should do the same thing too. If they have an opportunity to do an ICO, they should strike while the iron's hot, and why people are stupid enough to give away their Bitcoin or Ethereum or buy Bitcoin to get Lisk, so they can buy, the ICO or whatever token that you're supposed to buy to get into the ICO. They should do it right now, because when the money dries, and there is no more money, and the money will dry eventually, it's not going to last forever. They're going to miss out.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, that's what I had Ben from the BTC sessions on last night, and we were talking about things like this, where we wonder what the statute of limits are going to be for when these laws do get put in place and regulation does hit. People who publicly joined ICOs, like myself on YouTube or whatever, what the hell's going to happen to us? Like, am I now a criminal? Like, did I participate in financial crimes? Am I going to the big boy pen? What's going on with me now? Like, so it is kind of weird. Like, it still feels like the Wild West, even though that's what I heard about it when I first got into it a year ago. It's still just like the Wild West financially.
It is the Wild West.
You're literally in the Wild West while participating in the Wild West, dude. Yeah, we're actually going on almost 2 hours with 40 live viewers, so we're not doing too bad. If you guys have anything you want to talk about or anything you want to cover, maybe let people know where to find you and why or how, take this opportunity to do so.
Use my code, use my code, use my code.
Yeah, dude, everybody use John's BitConnect code. He loves BitConnect. He's very big on it. He hates Genesis Mining, so he doesn't have a Genesis Mining's code. Sorry.
Yeah, you can find me on
Use
Twitter.
John's code.
Yellow's code, yeah.
No, don't use mine. Use John's. He needs all the help he can get.
Yeah, I gotta you fucking passed me.
What about
For
you,
the people
James
who don't
Bond?
know
James
who are
Bond, you've been
watching,
quiet.
Those two have a big war going on. They troll each other and they get their subscribers to troll each other. I mean, Yellow gives away mining power and coins just to get people to go and to troll. It's hilarious. You guys should go watch this shit.
And then I'm trolling myself so I can win some of that too.
I love this community. I love being a part of it, guys. I love having you guys as friends. Thank you for making time to come out tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate
Thank you for
you having
having
me.
us.
And like I said, anybody have anything they want to talk about? We have over 40 live viewers or so. If anybody has anything they want to bring up, now's the time.
Yeah, if you live in Venezuela and you want to get some Bitcoin, go to my friend Gabriel's exchange, Monkey Coin. So, go there.
You said monkeycoin.com?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is that exchange doing?
It's moving on. You know, people still think it's kind of like a government thing, because it's the first one that's regulated. But you know, they all have KYC, AML, and all of that. But yeah, he's getting a couple of thousand registered users like daily. Oh yeah.
Yeah, what's his volume? How much is he doing in volume on that exchange?
I'm not quite sure on that. He hasn't really told me anything about that. But yeah, he opened the exchange last month, and it's doing pretty well.
Yeah, I saw that interview live. Actually, I was asking him at what the volume was and the user volume, and it was really impressive. I can't remember the numbers, but I think he said the 24-hour volume. I was actually very impressed. I remember watching that interview live.
The registered users were like 300 within the first 24 hours.
That is amazing. I couldn't
Yeah.
do that in this whole country right now with a new anything. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's impressive, you know. He put 12 Bitcoin into that exchange, so yeah.
That's dedication, man. That's dedication. I'm all about trying to get more off of talking about exchanges and stuff like that. I'm with James on we have to go to the roots and promote and talk more about how easy it is to obtain cryptocurrencies from your peers. The peer-to-peer community is actually thriving right now. If you look on Facebook, they now have a new section called Facebook Markets, where I feel like crypto could just take over that if need be. And they recommend meeting up at local police operated meetups where you could buy like an old TV from somebody, but you're on camera and there's local police not too far, if not in the vicinity. So I think the whole peer-to-peer thing really needs a bigger push than what we're giving it.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, thank you, Kenneth. Hopefully more people will. And again, I think cryptocurrencies are here to empower the individuals, so they could hopefully make a difference in their life and the life of others, and empower themselves. And by doing that, the power is in your hands to do what you want to do, and instead of a third party. Like a lot of people complain about Coinbase when they're down. Well, if you were in a peer-to-peer, network, you wouldn't have that problem. You would just find someone who's willing to sell those coins or buy those coins from you, and then you could do it right then and there. You wouldn't. It's just a matter of liquidity, and so the more of that network is being developed, and this could be done all over the world. And the nice thing is, if it's developed enough, in the U.S., I think it's developed enough. You go to any major city in the U.S., there's a good chance you could find someone willing to buy and sell you at least Bitcoin. But if you go to other parts of the world, like you go to England, I go to Canada, I find people. I'm trying to go down to South America, but I'm a little afraid to go through the border. But eventually, if it works out, you can go to any country all over the world with your Bitcoin, and that's why the TSA is on everyone's ass about whether they hold Bitcoin or not. Like literally, they'll have their hand up your ass looking for Bitcoin. It's ridiculous.
This is not going to be a comfortable flight.
They need to redesign the ledger so you could maybe sneak it up your ass or something, right?
That's what I was thinking when I read the article I think it was a couple days ago, where they were talking about where this could be an issue. I was like, wow, so if I'm on a flight out of the country and I want to take my ledger with me, who the fuck knows what's on it? Now all of a sudden I'm a criminal or something. Like, that's really going to be that's a concern, and that's every newcomer's concern. I remember when I first got into cryptocurrency, I was scared because I kept seeing things that were saying I was partaking in something that will eventually be considered illegal, and I will eventually be considered a criminal for ever purchasing, having, or holding this currency, or participating in it. And I don't know, it's still, stories like that still give it that vibe where one day we're going to be in a war with our own government over the currency of our choice.
Yeah, I want to address someone in the chat that mentioned to use the Brain Wallet. And unless you have a very strong, very long and strong password to your Brain Wallet, I highly do not recommend Brain Wallets, because they've been proven to be easy to crack. So, and there's people out there that actually have done this. They're roaming the blockchain for Brain Wallets to crack. So please do not use Brain Wallets, all right? If anything, use the BIP 38 passcode protected paper wallets if you're going to do that, or use the BIP 39, the 12 or the 24 or sometimes the 28 seed, backup seed, if you're going to do things like that, if you're worried about that. But please do not use Brain Wallets.
Have you guys seen the encrypted wallet backpack and hoodie and art, where you can just encrypt your Bitcoin onto your clothing, and as long as nobody knows to scan it and what the password, the BIP 148 password, whatever may be, you'll be alright. So you could literally wear a jacket or a book bag that has your Bitcoin encoded into it, and then you could, withdraw it when you get over the border. Have you guys seen any of that?
No,
I have not.
Yeah, like artwork and
That's
stuff.
pretty...
You can hide anything, ones and zeros, as Andreas said it. You can hide that in anything.
Yeah, you can hide that in an audio file too. It's been proven that you can put blockchain on the audio file on a record, an actual physical record. So, there's many ways. But I do want to get back to, you can go anywhere. Eventually, you can go anywhere around the world and use your Bitcoin, and that's really powerful. That's also very scary to a lot of, I would say, a lot of states and governments out there, because there's a lot of nefarious things you can do, but the potential for a lot of positive things outweigh those negative things, in my opinion. So hopefully, in the future, we can all be free to transact with each other.
Yeah, somebody just commented, what about a tattoo? I don't recommend it. I got one right here, and it does not scan at all whatsoever. I do not recommend trying to do anything encrypted into a tattoo. That was a fail.
But you can do it in binary though. You can get the private key.
Yeah, I could get a tattoo of the private key somewhere. Yeah, exactly.
Does that tattoo work though for sending you Bitcoin?
It doesn't work, man. Before I got the tattoo, there's two things I didn't take into consideration. One, it could possibly get infected and then be like disformed, and that's what happened. And then two, I didn't really look into how barcodes and QR codes worked, and I didn't. Maybe some people don't know this, and I'm now learning them this, or maybe I was the only person who didn't know this. But when you're scanning a barcode or a QR code, it does not look at the black. It looks for the negative, the white spaces in between. And I am not paper white, so that's not going to scan ever.
And now you're the target for the GSA.
Oh, yeah, as soon as I go through anywhere, yeah, that's it. They're definitely going to try to...
Just go ahead and black it out and then put the white parts in.
I'm going to bring my own lubrication every time I go to the friggin' airport.
But hey, I want to show my ignorance real quick. What the hell is a brain wallet? Because I was thinking that was like you remembering your password or your secret.
Yeah, you do. You remember your password but with a phrase. So I don't know. Timmy fell down the well, and that would be your password.
It's a hackable phrase though, like James Bond said. It's not using the same type of encryption like a wallet would for generating a backup phrase. It's not using that same. It's vulnerable. I used to think very highly of brain wallets, but like James Bond pointed out, they're vulnerable unless you have a really, really, really strong password as well.
Yeah, basically it's a phrase that is your private key, and so it's not a password to a key that's already encrypted, or anything like that. It's the phrase is the private key, and so it's called a brain wallet because you're supposed to memorize it. But what people have done is they just scour the blockchain, and they've already figured out its weakness, and they've been able to crack it because most people don't make very long passphrases. They'll make it Sam I am, and they'll make it really simple, and they're very weak, very, very weak passwords, and people have been cracking the codes on those, cracking the passcodes and stealing people's Bitcoin.
All right, I get what you're saying. I was thinking, like, is this some kind of software, or was I wrong about what I was thinking?
You just take out your thing and just, your brain wallet. I got it. We're probably not too far from all of that. I mean, we got Apple Pay with our fingerprints. Next thing you know, it's DNA, and it'll be physically in us somewhere. We'll have NFC chips in our thumbs, and we can just upload Bitcoin to it to pay for things at a tap.
Well, there are those that claim that the cryptocurrencies are the gateway to the one world currency in which they can rule over us.
Yeah, but if we are the early adopters, that whole paradigm shift is going to make their plan really obsolete. It's the people that got into it for Silk Road, the people that got into it for gambling, the people that got into it for other reasons that, of government suppression that I'm not familiar with because I'm in a first world American country, so I'm kind of like, but there's a lot of reasons people got into Bitcoin early for financial freedom, and if that is the plan for Bitcoin is to one world currency to rule the world, it's going to be the people that came from nothing and are humble enough to rule the world, I think. You ever see people that come from nothing and end up rich are very giving, other than the silver spoon fed born who keep to themselves.
Sure, I feel you, but the coin is not going to be Bitcoin. It has not been created yet. They know they haven't got in on that one, right? So they're going to have to get in on another one. And
Ripple.
I'm in on it. I'm in on Ripple. I don't care. All right, we're cool. All right, cool. Keep talking.
Earlier, Ripple's defense, I heard somebody say in defense of Ripple, well, the banks, they're too big to fail. They're always going to, look for a way to make a profit. That's correct. And they make a profit for themselves, and they get bailed out. We get screwed every time they make a mistake, not them. And that could go the same way with their cryptocurrency.
Yeah. You know, that Ripple and Stellar reminds me of Mr. Robot. They have like Evil Coin or something, and it's for the bank, basically. They have Bitcoin and they have Evil Coin. So, the same shit.
Yeah, but that's exactly my point on why I got some Ripple. If that does happen, at least I'm with them. Like, I know it's the enemy, but, like, if the enemy's going to end up making something happen, at least I'm with them a little bit. I'm not going to be screwed.
You see, what you're doing is a good strategy to get into Ripple to make a profit like that, but for every reason that you're in Ripple is the reason why I'm not.
No, I know. It's a moral qualm with profit. Like, emotionally, I hate Ripple, but, like, profitability, risk, reward, I'm with Ripple. I gotta go with it. I mean, I've been with it for, like, I think my Instagram pictures go back to me buying some at, like, 3 cents. So, like, I haven't been too wrong. I think Ripple does have some potential because of the partnerships with the banks, and again, emotionally and morally, it makes me uncomfortable. But profitably, I feel like I made the right decision. So, like, it's like a yin and yang coin for me. I do not in any way say this is a good coin, the blockchain is solid, blah blah blah. I mean, they literally control the supply of the coin at the time that they want. So, like, they could dump whenever they feel like a lot of Ripple into the exchange. So, I mean, I know all that, and knowing all that, I'm still betting on that, random wild card.
See, that's
all I get for free.
As long as you feel guilty when you cash out, that's all I'm looking for.
Dude, I feel guilty every single time I cash out a Genesis mining payout from my referrals.
I get Ripple for free. So, when people buy here, here in Mexico, they buy Ripple, I get 1% of whatever they get. So, if they get Ether, I get 1% of that. If they get Bitcoin, I get 1% of that. If I get rip-off, well, I get that too. Yeah,
so. Sterling said Ripple was 3 cents forever. It was 3 cents forever, and that's what I learned when Dash went from $10 to $100. When marketing and promotion gets to a certain level, at most times that does help with the volatility of the price of a coin, and that's what I learned when I went into Ripple, was that they have pretty good marketing. So that's why I got in when it was 3 cents. Dash was $10 forever, and I got in when they were $10.
I saw it below a penny. So, yeah.
I saw Doge. I saw Doge at like 1 Satoshi or something at one point. Is that what would happen? And now it's at like 4,000.
Really?
Oh yeah, and there's a Doge in there among us.
Yeah, Doge is insane, man. When I first got into crypto, I found out about Doge. I looked at it and I was like, this is worthless. Why are people even trading it? And now today I'm looking at it and people are like doing YouTube videos on being Doge millionaires.
Well, Ken, that game that you reviewed today, the investment app, that they used to have Doge offered as one of the crypto coins, but they had to remove it because it was worth so little, but the volatility was measurable. So I put in buy and sell orders, and I made huge profit on Doge on that game. And this was like back in September, and I still wasn't actually into crypto in the real world. That game taught me some things before I got in.
Yeah, that game is pretty fun.
Go ahead.
No, did you see the video on that? It's it's sort of almost like a fantasy investing app. I'm gonna do a more in-depth video. I just came across it and I really wanted to just hop online, test some things out, and show people about the app. But you can invest with like an imaginary $25,000, and you can use stocks or cryptocurrencies. The list is pretty small for crypto, but it will still give newbies a sense of investing in crypto and the idea of the volatility of holding it.
Yeah. Yeah, there was this, back in 2014, I used to gamble with Doge. So, it was the World Cup, and I'm pretty good at that, so I would bet, and I'll make some more Doge. So, I ended up selling it last year. That was like 6 million Doge.
Right?
I got Doge because the ledger, like, I love this thing right here. So maybe we can talk about this. What kind of like what thought process do you go through when you invest in a coin or buy a coin and think long term, or maybe even like, you know, short but not shorting it on this trades, something you're going to put on a wallet and pull off. But like, what process do you go through? And this is sort of mine. So the hardware wallets, as they add altcoins, I feel like that adds credibility. So there I go and want to, you know, stack up on that altcoin that just got a dose of credibility from a hardware wallet. But then Jax went ahead and added every single coin I could think of in a bajillion tweets in one day. So like, it's really hard for me to think like credibility by being added to a wallet is safe now. But like, I still feel like that about the hardware wallet. So when they added Doge, I bought a bunch of it, I stored it on here, and I forgot about it, just like I do pretty much every other altcoin that's on it. But I diversify my portfolio, and that's sort of one of the major things that has to be a key factor, is I can hold it on a hardware wallet. So like, what do you guys do when you go and buy altcoins other than Bitcoin? What process do you go through? Or what's like a key factor that keeps you from, or actually pushes you into investing in something else?
Well, I look at what Trevon James is investing in and do the opposite. And,
Yeah, that's a good one.
But, you know, I really like to get into coins that have a cap on it. And if there's a new coin or something, I like to run it by somebody who's in cryptocurrency to see what they think about it first. And then I get into it. But really, I'm only into 4 coins. And that's Dash, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic, and Bitcoin. So I really need to broaden that horizon and get some pivots, right? But I don't know. I haven't really been interested in these other coins like MateSafe and Ardor and BitConnect. I ain't been investing in that shit. But one thing I am kind of looking at is Sia Coin, because I think that's an interesting project. But other than that, you know, if it doesn't have anything that like sparks interest, like, oh, that's a really cool idea or anything, then it's like, yeah, scroll over you know.
Yeah. If I see a coin with a good supply cap that's stable, like Litecoin, Stratus was pretty stable for a while, and somebody adds it to Ledger, I'll buy it. You know, I bought Stratus at 8 cents. And then I sold it at $1, and I regret it. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much anything I buy, I'm holding long, because eventually you're gonna be like, shit, I should have held it. Like, and that's why I consider it like Pokemon cards, man. Like, it's money spent on something I'm holding. It's now physical. I'm holding it on my wallet. It's not on the exchange. It's not going to tempt me to short it or sell it. And I'm holding all those coins long. But that's the risks that we're all willing to take. What about you, Yellow? What's your strategies for altcoins and holding them?
How it was created. Look, if they have a white paper for any kind of scams, pre-mines, coin. Generally, I feel if it started out shady, continue down a shady path. And then I look at a lot of things. You know, a lot of coins out there have you know, they're touting all these use cases, but a lot of them, you know, the use case that they're touting is a bunch of nonsense. You know, I want something that's going to be a real world use case where people can use it. And that's basically how I go about it. You know, there's a lot of other factors, you know, being used in the world today. That's one thing that put me really hard on Doge is, you know, being used for lots of things. It has a market already, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's supported by those who like it, so it's like self-sufficient in a sense.
That's another thing is have it, supporting it. How well do they like it? How well are they invested into it? Because that right there will speak volumes for a lot of other. So, say that I do know fund invest just he has one thing. He looks at it and he says, "Is it Bitcoin?" And if it isn't, then he doesn't buy it.
All right, James Bond, would you like to chime in? What is your process?
For your audience, I'm just gonna give them an overall breakdown. If their interest is just making money, I'm assuming that's everyone's interest, to make a profit. So to begin, any cryptocurrency that has like a proof of work or any mining that they need to do. So if you start as mining, it's any coin, any new coin that comes out, I would immediately start mining on that, because that's the best time to do it. You'll get the most coins for it. It's also, ironically, the best time to mine is when you're mining at a loss. But what the long-term goal is eventually that when this thing does pop, when it goes through these boom and bust cycles, you're going to have so much coin that you're a millionaire, and if you're smart, you'll dump them. So if everybody, like from last year, just a year ago, mined Ethereum, right? They would be a millionaire today, literally, just by mining it. So mining, in a way, you are buying coins. It's just that you're not physically buying per coin. You're buying the equipment, you're paying the electricity, and you're upgrading or whatever you have to do. So essentially, you are buying them. But as far as mining, that's what you want to do. There's also hard drive mining. So just having a hard drive, or if you have your computer on, you could mine Burst or maybe even Siacoin. I see John Crothers maybe want to get into Siacoin there. But if you have a computer on, you could generate coins, right? And so that's another way, and that's just mining part, the mining aspect of it. So as far as buying, what I do, if you're going to be buying coins instead of mining them, is I wait. I personally wait at least 5 years, but I know a lot of people don't have 5 years. They want to wait around, right? They want some coins now, make money. So I look for, I would look for these things. Is basically, can you, are they on, how many coins are on the exchanges? So look at the exchanges and see if they're on the exchange or not. If they're not on the exchanges yet, that may be a coin that you might want to get on if you're willing to take that risk, because once they hit the exchange, they tend to explode. And so that's another thing you want to look at. So ICOs, tokens are also another one. Like I said before, just buy them as they come out and just dump them when they hit the exchange. So if you're looking for these kind of investments, that's what you want to look for. Long term, I wait 5 years, and on top of that, I would look for how usable they are, because eventually, if you're going to hold on to these things long enough, you want to use them. First thing I look for is peer-to-peer market. Can I sell, my token or my coin to somebody for cash, without going through a bank? Because the bank may not accept, or Coinbase may not run your transaction, or your bank will reject the transaction, or they may just straight up not do it at all. So you want to make sure you get paid out on this. And the other thing is, can you use it like online, and is someone willing to accept it? So Litecoin, Doge were some of the coins right now that I know it's pretty popular and used. Ethereum right now is another one. All the other coins, not so much yet. And so those are the things that I look for long term.
Awesome. Brian, did you want to chime in? Bless
Sure.
you.
Sure. Hold on a second here. Well, there are three things that you can do if you're in the crypto space. You can make a coin that is meant to be a currency. You can make a coin that's meant to solve some sort of problem, like some niche market that you might serve. Or you could have a coin that has a big community around it that just loves to be used. If Bitcoin becomes a currency, it's not going to be by itself. It's going to have 2 or 3 others that join it for smaller transaction sizes and for quicker transactions, because you don't take gold to go buy bread and milk, right? So you're going to have other currencies that pop up. Now, the second thing that I think Yellow touched on is you solve some problem, or you have a case study, whatever, smart contracts. The problem is all of these types of tokens haven't really come through on their promises. The only ICOs, or the only smart contracts right now seem to be like the ICOs. You make a contract to get in on an ICO, otherwise they haven't made any smart contracts that I'm aware of. It has a lot of promise, but no real world application yet. Then the community-based one, and that just is one of the main reasons I got into Doge, was because it had such a large community, such a strong support within it, that I knew it was going to be around for a long time, even if it did start out as a joke coin.
Good point. Anybody know about Decred? I keep seeing a lot about it. I don't know much about Decred.
Yeah, it's on Exodus. That's all I know about it.
That's more than me. Now I know something about Decred. Thanks. The Coinily. Oh man, we gotta get the Coinily on here one of these days. He started doing some videos. I like his channel. He's pretty good. Jay Pear, great commenter. Thanks for all that. So yeah, we have still about 50 live viewers. So again, if there's any other topics that anybody wants to cover, we can make sure we get them all covered.
What about using blockchain technology as not as a currency, but as something else? You know, for like medical records or you know, renewable energy or something like that. Does anybody know anything about that?
Well, that's why I like Augur, Golem, Sweet, the Swarm City token. Some of those blockchains are like, you know, they have real world use cases where Golem will take your, you know, free space on your computer or potentially your phone, and it will sell that free space to somebody who needs to borrow some computational power. I like things like BAT, basic attention tokens, which are basically for the Brave browser, where you can pay ads in advance to just basically fuck off. So when you go on Facebook, you don't end up seeing all those banner ads for everything you may have looked up on eBay, and now they're being marketed to you. So there's some things that are being built that they're just not mainstream yet. You know what I mean? Like Swarm City still is a ride-sharing platform that has success doing ride shares and stuff like that, using Ethereum-based smart contracts and doing their own token in-house. So there's some stuff like that have real-world use cases. There may be other things, like you said, like medical records or stuff like that, but that's way above my intellect.
Well, you know, there's a coin called Solar Coin that pays you in this Solar Coin to produce solar power, but on their website they're talking about megawatts of power, and I don't think a lot of people understand how much a megawatt of power is. And the coin is only worth 20 cents. You know, when I first looked at this coin, it was 11 cents, and now today it's at 20 cents or whatever. So I don't know how much coin they pay you or whatever to produce or prove that you've produced a megawatt of power, but let's see, solar coin represents 1 megawatt of power of solar electricity generation, and that is a lot of fucking energy. That is a lot of fucking power to be generating with your solar panel.
Is that the one where you? No wait, is that the one where you buy solar panels with Bitcoin and then you send it to Africa or something?
I haven't heard anything like that.
There's something like that.
Yeah,
you buy solar
that's
panels.
Yeah, I don't see anything about that on here. I'm just reading, but I don't know, it seems like a shit coin to me or whatever. But I don't think that they realize how much a megawatt hour of power is to be generating off of solar panels and shit.
I feel like it's easier to spot a coin that has no purpose or no use for being a blockchain anything than it is to find something that actually has use being on the blockchain in some way. It's few and far to find. It's like a unicorn, you know.
Yeah. Pepe Cash.
I like I like Ripple, or not Ripple, fucking Rep from Augur. Their prediction market's friggin' awesome. Like, I never knew about prediction markets before, and the first time I got into it was during the election, and I saw people doing some crazy outlandish stuff on their platform, and it was crazy just to watch, like, the bets and stuff. It basically felt like people were betting.
Did you make anything off that? Did you make a bet? Did you make a prediction? Or
No, I did not. I was so, like, that's when I was still a baby. I was probably like a month into crypto or something. Like, this is my 1 year anniversary month, or maybe 13th month. But it took me a while to really dive in, so like maybe 6 months really deeper into it. And when I was looking at Augur and their prediction platform, I was just impressed that you could bet on the weather, you could bet on some crazy like terrorist events, you could bet on whatever the hell you wanted. You could create your own prediction.
If you were going to make a prediction on the Augur network, like about the election, would you have made a profit?
Yeah, probably. I was definitely on, like, I know marketing. Like, marketing is not something I got a degree in, but I like it as a passion hobby. Like, when I see something very well branded or very well marketed, I point it out. I'm like, yo, that was a good placement of color or product or a good font. So, I mean, Trump had great marketing, so I probably would have bet on it.
Yeah, and he got all that support because, you know, he's not a politician or whatever, but
yeah.
I don't think people really understood what they were voting for.
A lot of people keep asking me if I fear that Donald Trump will make Bitcoin illegal, and what will I do if he does? My response is always the same. I don't even know if he would know how to do that. Like, he's not the kind of guy that would even know how to go about that. I think.
But his son does. His son's a genius.
Wasn't his son in trouble for some shady shit with a charity and stuff, and like having stuff involved with that? I don't remember. I just know he's not very reputable.
I'm talking about the little kid.
Oh.
On the hectic computers, the sequential number one.
That's
but you know, if he tries going after Bitcoin, that'll make me happy, because that's just going to pump the price of Bitcoin. We'll just reach $1 million per coin sooner.
Yeah, that'll be bigly huge.
Bigly huge, yeah. That's another thing. If they make Bitcoin illegal, it just adds value to it, because risk adds value. Look at any illegal substance. Look at any illegal activity. Prostitution, drugs, gambling. All that has extra given value when it has any risk, when, hindered by law. So if somebody were to step in and make Bitcoin illegal, I feel like for a while it would definitely increase the price, because, well, one, it would be really fucking hard to sell your illegal Bitcoin, so everyone's now holding. It's going to make it hard to sell, so the price may become very artificially high, but that artificial high will come into reality when you're going peer-to-peer to sell your Bitcoin. And you may not cash out for fiat. If it were to go illegal, somebody like me, I might go to Switzerland and buy a yacht and give the guy Bitcoin, and he gives me the yacht, and I just go away.
Speaking of Switzerland, there was an island that was sold recently for like 286 Bitcoin.
Man, I wish I had more Bitcoin. I want an island.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I just want to add to Jet Blake. He was asking about Stellar and the Ledger thing. It doesn't work with Ledger, so what you can do is you go and download Electrum, and you import the seed and use BIP 39, and you should have the same wallet on the Ledger as you have on the Electrum. So that's how you can sign it and then just get your free Bitcoin, basically.
Check out that info, guys. The Coinily and Jay Pear, I would love to get them on here next time. Jet, thank you for showing up, man. Awesome as always to have you. We got Jeff down there. I just saw yellow comment. Oh, just wanted to shout everybody out for coming out. We're running on about 2.5 hours, guys. I guess we could wrap this up. I know we still got a shit ton of viewers, but I know we all got lives to get to, and that could leave more for next time. If you're all interested, I'd love to do this maybe once a week. We can get together and shoot the shit on the current events.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Alright, well, shameless self-promotion. I'm giving away one whole Litecoin, so in the description box below there is a link to the giveaway. Follow the directions, and tomorrow afternoon, I believe in 12 hours, that's when the giveaway's up. I will, on YouTube Live, give away one whole Litecoin. So there's that, and obviously everybody here knows how to find me, so one at a time, let everybody that's watching know where to find you. 21 Million Club, John, James Bond, Yellow, and Brian, in that order. Go.
You can find me on YouTube at the 21 Million Club, Twitter, the 21 Million Club.mx, Club MX without the dot, and the 21 Million Club.
And you can find me at Cryptotherapy on YouTube. I'm doing Genesis Mining over there. If you want to use my code, just let me know. I'll use your code, whatever.
Well, you can find me only here on YouTube, and I don't know how you're going to look me up, but if you put James Bond Bitcoin, you'll see my avatar, and that's how you'll find my channel.
International Man of Mystery.
If you,
Show us your tips.
if you put in my name, Brian McLaughlin, or Crypto Crunch on YouTube, you'll find the videos that I've made in the past, but normally you'll find me on somebody else's channel. If you leave a comment on one of my old videos, then you can, I'll be sure to see it there.
Alright, awesome. Again, thank you all for showing up. I just did in the comments, did a Litecoin giveaway. I'm going to do 0.1, so Sterling, you won 0.1 Litecoin. Litecoin's over $50, so that's what, $5 or something? I don't know. Math is hard.
Sterling.
Math is hard.
That's why you're not Satoshi Nakamoto.
No, I mean, math is easy. I was being facetious because I'm humble. I'm sitting down and everything. Alright guys, thanks everybody for joining the live chat. Again, it ran like 2.5 hours. I did not expect us to go this long, but we had the viewers, we had the content. We're going to probably do this again next week. Maybe different people, same people, more people. We'll see what happens. Again, I want to do more live stuff on my channel. If you enjoyed this kind of content, just let me know by hitting the thumbs up button. If you don't enjoy this kind of content for whatever fucking reason, hit the thumbs down button. No matter what you do, subscribe or bad things will happen to good people. And hit the alert bell so you get a notification. And every time you get a notification, an angel gets its wings. So do that. Thank you and have a day. And this is the awkward point where I try to sign out because I'm using OBS and it takes like forever.
Have the day you deserve.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a process.
Hey, awesome.
Alright, here we go. I can stop the stream. Alright, guys, have a day.